Hey guys, it's me, Kinsey, and today I want to do more of a serious type video. So the other day, my very first vlog, I was talking about how I was diagnosed with PCOS and I never thought I'd be able to have children. And I really want to kind of tell y'all my journey with PCOS and honestly what has really helped me. So when I was 22 years old, that's when my husband and I got married. It was October of 2016, and me and my husband have dated for quite a while, so we knew that if we were gonna have kids, we wanted to have kids sooner rather than later because we wanted to be young parents. We didn't want to wait until we were older 20s, younger 30s. And that's just a personal preference. Everybody's different, but that's just what we wanted personally. So our honeymoon night, that's when we started trying having children, and about a year went by and I was like, you know, this is just really strange. Nothing's happening. I've always had irregular cycles, and my mom was the type of person, like, she didn't have, like, she wouldn't use protection once and she instantly got pregnant. My mom didn't know what ovulating was. She didn't have to know what that was because she was able to get pregnant so quickly. So when I started explaining all this to her, she was like, I don't really understand what all you're saying. We just need to go see the doctor. So at that time I had a female doctor, and she was very opinionated, very, very opinionated. So when I went to her and told her, you know, what was going on, how I felt, she was like, oh, you probably have PCOS, but honey, you're too young to have kids. You just need to be put on birth control. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, honestly, you're too young to get married. And she just was really telling me her opinion on everything, but I knew what I wanted, and I knew I'd always wanted to be a young mom. So it was really discouraging. So I ended up getting put on a different type of birth control because my body reacts very differently to medicines and stuff. So she put me on this birth control, and I was so sick for months. I ended up getting major cystic acne. I started just really packing on the weight. I became very anxious and depressed. And after about 4 months on that birth control, I finally I got off of it. I just couldn't do it anymore. And usually when you are off of birth control, you're more susceptible to get pregnant right after you get off of it. Well, that didn't happen. And I probably took over 150 pregnancy tests. And I probably took over 250 to 350 ovulation tests. I never ovulated. I never got a positive. And it was very discouraging. I was in tears about it. There's just something about constantly just seeing a negative. Because when you see that negative, you just feel like a failure. Like your body isn't doing or performing the way it should. And I knew it was me. It wasn't my husband. And I just did more studying with PCOS, and there's really not any type of cure for it. It's just something you have to deal with. And a lot of women are diagnosed with it, and it's just not talked about. And so I was really going through a hard time. I was put on anxiety and depression medications because I was so upset. And I finally was just really beating myself up. I used to be super, super skinny. I had gained a lot of weight, and I blamed some of that on PCOS because, I mean, that is, you know, a part of it. You do gain weight, but also I was just depressed, and that's the way I kind of coped with it, was just eating and drinking and having a good time, and I'm reaping the repercussions of that. So this is actually really crazy. In 2018, in the end of the year in 2018, the beginning of 2019, I made this post on Facebook just saying how 2018 was the absolute hardest year of my life. And I explained that I was diagnosed with PCOS and that I just felt like a hermit. I was always depressed. I didn't want to take pictures of myself. I didn't want people to see me because I just felt so ugly. And honestly, it was just kind of a pity party about myself. But at the end of it, I just said that in 2019, I'm going to look at PCOS as, you know, a roadblock to get to where I want to go. And I'm just going to persevere and push through that roadblock to get what I ultimately want to be, and that was to be a mom. So as soon as I made that post, I had 6 women message me, and they were all people that I know, and they all had PCOS, and I had no idea. It's just something that isn't talked about. And so I finally found some people that I could kind of talk to, and I knew that I wasn't alone. I wasn't the only one that felt this way. And one girl was actually someone that I had met on my honeymoon. I mentioned this in my first vlog. And she recommended me to her doctor because she has PCOS, and he specializes in infertility and PCOS. He has researched and studied it a lot. And she referred me to him. So I went and I saw him in January of 2019. And he was like, yeah, you have PCOS, but he was very genuine. He was nice. He was like, Mackenzie, you just gotta tell me, do you wanna have a baby or do you not wanna have a baby? And I was like, I do. I wanna be a mom, and you know, that's what I wanna do. And he was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. So he put me on a medication called metformin. Metformin is actually taken by people with diabetes. It's supposed to help, it does something with insulin. So he was saying that women that have PCOS, they have a lot of, your body is working so hard around your ovaries because there's cysts on them. They're so focused on that, your hormones and stuff. It's so focused on the cyst that it doesn't, you know, it doesn't work. Like your body just doesn't produce eggs and stuff like it should, or ovulate like you should, because it's so focused on something else. So if you take metformin, it kind of is a barrier. So it helps your body kind of like realign, and they've done a lot of studies on it. That's the best way I can explain it. Of course, he's a doctor. He explained it a lot better than I just did. But anyway, so I was like, okay, well, at this point, I'll try anything. And he was like, this is the cheapest route. We'll put you on it for 2 or 3 months and kind of go from there. And I was like, okay. And he was like, honestly, only about 5 to 8% of women get pregnant off of this. So it's a very low percentage, but it's going to be your cheapest option. With my insurance, it was actually free. Now, he was like, the thing with metformin is you're going to be on it, but you're going to feel very sick. It's almost like if you were pregnant with morning sickness. You're going to be nauseous. You may throw up. You're going to have diarrhea. You're going to feel sick. You're going to lose some weight too. It just makes you feel really sick, and it did. I was sick for probably 3 to 4 weeks. I felt like I was pregnant, but I wasn't. So fast forward to around like a little bit after Valentine's Day, I finally started feeling good. And this is kind of TMI, so if things gross you out, then you may just want to stop the video here. But I had never like ovulated before, so I've never seen my body produce, or this is gonna sound so gross, secrete different like fluids down there. And a little bit after Valentine's Day, I went to the bathroom and something was different down there. And I was like, am I ovulating? I didn't have an ovulation test on me, but I told my husband, I was like, I think I'm ovulating. I was like, something is different. And he's like, well, do you want to, you know, try? And I was like, sure, why not? I mean, might as well. And at this point, we were under the impression that it's going to be really hard for me to get pregnant. And I just was like, I'm not going to give my hopes up. So I kind of just like let go and kind of forgot about actually like consistently trying to have sex, because it was becoming a chore. It wasn't becoming fun anymore, which that's not how it should be. It shouldn't be a chore. It should be something that you and your husband enjoy to do together. It shouldn't be that way. It had become that for us, and it actually took a really big toll on our marriage. But anyway, so we tried that night, and then I just didn't think anything of it. And then it was after my sister-in-law's wedding. We went out with his family, and we had some wine, and we were sitting around the fire pit. And I was talking to them and about just having a baby and everything, and how that's something I really want. And you know, I was kind of tipsy, so I kind of got emotional about it. And then the next day, my friend, her and I went to lunch, and she told me she was pregnant. And it was just kind of like a one night, or a one time, not like a one time thing. They've had, like, she went and saw this guy over the weekend, and they hooked up, and she ended up getting pregnant. And I just cried out to God. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, here I am. Me and my husband have good careers. We can support a child. This is the desires of our heart. Why is my body acting this way? I want this so bad. Why me? I just did not get it. It just didn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, why is it that people that don't want kids can have them, but those that do want kids can't? And I didn't get it. It just didn't make sense to me. I just remember after she told me she was pregnant, I was just in my car and I was just crying. I felt like such a failure. And I went to my mom and my dad's house, and I just cried to them, and they prayed over me because I was really depressed and I was really, really upset. And then 3 days later, I was supposed to start my period, but I had a regular period, so I just didn't think anything of it. And I was like, well, for fun, I'll just take a pregnancy test, but it's just gonna be another negative. So I just took like a cheap Dollar Tree one. And I saw the smallest line ever. And I was like, this can't be real. And so I took another one, and I saw it again. And then I took a Walmart one, and I saw it again. And then I ran out to Walgreens, and I got a first response, and I had that line. I never thought that I'd be able to have a kid. I was so in shock. So when my husband and I first started trying, I bought a card from a lady in England, and my husband, every time we see each other or I'm cooking, he always sings, "Hey, good looking, what you got cooking?" And we'll sing it. It's just like an old little song. Anyway, so I got him a card. It says, "Hey, good looking." And then when you open it, it says, "We've got a baby cooking." And I'd had that card for almost about 2.5 years. And I was finally able to use it. And I'd hid it all this time, and I gave him the card. And we were just crying. Because we never thought it was going to happen. I'm trying not to actually like cry and get super emotional, but it was one of the happiest days of my life because it's something that we just had hoped and dreamt for, and it finally came true. It's just crazy how it worked out, and how I was just so upset and depressed about it, and just God worked. It was all in God's timing, that's for sure. So the moral of the story is, life with PCOS is really hard. It is, but there are so many people around you that have it and they don't talk about it. And I want to let you know that I'm here if you want to talk about it. I understand what it's like to want something so bad, but you never think you're going to get it. But you know what? With strength and a good support group and believing in something, whatever you may believe in, it doesn't have to, I'm a Christian, and I know people believe in other things, or they believe in good energy, whatever it is, you just got to surround yourself with that. And someone in your life has what you have. Sometimes you just have to be vocal and you have to ask for help. And I honestly think that everything I went through has made me a stronger person. It's made me really learn how to cope with situations like that. And though it's a hard situation, I'm thankful that God chose me to go through it, because I've learned a lot about myself. My husband and I's marriage became stronger because of it in the long run. And now here I am. I have a 2-month-old healthy baby boy. I had a relatively easy pregnancy, and I had an easy labor and delivery. And I'm just so thankful. And so I'm here to tell you, if you have PCOS and you don't think you'll ever be able to have a child, you will. It may take time, and sometimes it takes a lot of money, but you will. And even if you don't, there are so many children out there that, whether it's foster care, adoption, or even doing hosting a foreign exchange student or hosting some family, I mean, there's some way that you can show your love. And if that's not your calling, then maybe dogs, rescuing dogs. Like, there's something out there where you can give that love to. And that's why my husband and I have so many dogs, because we had to give our love to someone, because we had so much love to give. And there were hard times, and there's going to be hard times in the future, but we're gonna get through it. And I know if my husband and I can get through it, y'all can get through it as well. So I hope this video was encouraging to you, and I hope that if you're going through this, keep your head up. You're so strong. You're gonna learn a lot about yourself, and whether you're married or you have a significant other or you're just alone, there are people out there that you can talk to that want to help you. And if you don't think you have somebody, or if you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody about it, I'm here. Please comment, write me an email. I would love to just talk to you about it. I would love to be an outlet that you can vent to. And if you believe in prayer, I would love to just pray for you, and that this journey, that at the end of this journey, you get what you ultimately want, like I was able to. So I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I know that it was kind of emotional, but this isn't a situation to take lightly. It's someone's life and what they go through on a daily basis. So like I said, I hope y'all enjoy this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Tell me what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Y'all have an amazing day. Bye.